I think we picked up from each other fairly quickly that we have probably quite a similar way of working.
Some actors approach it as though it's like it's a dance and you're working collaboratively, which I think is the way, and we found common ground in that sense. Because other actors like to be confrontational. We had incredible material that we were working with, you know, and it was, not only was it fun and exciting to work on each day, but it was also challenging. When you're in those really intense periods of filming, if you don't mentally switch off each night, for myself, then you just get exhausted.
It was when I was reading Tolkien as a little boy that I, at the same kind of time, was starting to be interested in acting.
Hi, welcome to the Quint, and thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you.
Thanks.
The two of you work so closely on the show together. If there's one thing that you guys picked up from each other while working together, what was that?
I think we picked up from each other fairly quickly that we have probably quite a similar way of working, which is always when you know you're going to be spending a long time with somebody, it's nice to figure that out, and that you're going to be both quite easy and relaxed with each other, and so I think we continued in that vein. We had a very easeful time working together, very joyful, funny, satisfying time working together.
I think that's it, and it's a sense of ease, and you can, I mean, actors approach it a different way. Some actors approach it as though it's like it's a dance and you're working collaboratively, which I think is the way, and we found common ground in that sense. Because other actors like to be confrontational, or like they like that unknown element. And neither is better than the other, but it's nice that we found common ground very early on.
And it's nice to feed off an energy that you recognize.
Exactly that. It's very well put. It's exactly what it felt like.
You know, the other thing that every show or a film or even like say theater or anything that you do in your life, it kind of adds something to you as a person or to your craft, right? Or what has this show given the two of you or added to your life?
It really has added, speaking personally, it was one of the most joyous experiences that I've genuinely had in working ever. I don't know what it was about it. It was the excitement for the two of us to tell this story, which has never been told before in terms of adaptation.
And I think that it was all combined with, we had incredible material that we were working with, you know, and it was, not only was it fun and exciting to work on each day, but it was also challenging, and that's a really good place to be as an actor, because you're kind of, we were going into the unknown every day, and nothing felt over-rehearsed or over-scripted. I mean, it was scripted. But there was improv, and it felt very alive.
And also, sorry, just to add to that.
And also.
No, but just quickly, about the script. You know, the showrunners might change their mind about, you know, they watch us do a scene, then they might come in and go, actually, no, why don't you try that? And let's, you know, an idea might come to them. And that, again, is the unexpected, and it takes it off in a different direction. So it just felt very alive.
You know, you play a character that is it's got so many shades, right? There's a time I also like your character. I know it's very evil, but I still do feel for your character at some point. When you're playing a character it's so dark, right? Is it something that kind of you leave on the set when they say pack up? Or is it something you maybe mull over or take home with you and kind of feel it sometimes?
It's tricky because I think I more leave it on the set, and it's quite a methodical process of getting ready, simply because you have to put so much prosthetics and stuff on that I kind of see it as symbolic of taking it off at the end of the day. You can leave it there. Of course, you have to go home and think about, you got to learn lines, think about, do all the work at home, but I think when you're in those really intense periods of filming, if you don't mentally switch off each night, for myself, then you just get exhausted. And I think I need to go home and watch The Simpsons or something, you know, to kind of relax.
Just the opposite of what you're probably even thinking of.
Exactly, like when I'm working, I can't watch any serious TV or films because I just get too in my own head about acting. So it has to be, you know, either like football or cartoons.
Okay, cartoons is the way to go there. You know, both of you have such a beautiful, you know, character graph that we've seen from the first season and in the first 2 episodes of the second season. If there's a character arc, apart from yours, that the two of you have really enjoyed watching grow, which one would that be?
I love the relationship between the Durins. I love the father-son relationship. I find that very gripping and moving.
And I think that's particularly special, and it's connected with a lot of with a lot of people, that storyline, because it is a very simple story set in this world. Like, it is a story of a father and a son and a husband and a wife, really, and their familial dynamics set up in the world which everyone can connect to.
Right. If I had to ask you, say, about one of the most memorable days on the sets, or a most challenging scene that you've done on sets, which one would that be for the two of you?
Probably a scene towards the end of episode 8, which was, it's quite a long scene, there's a lot going on in it. That was quite challenging, but in the best way. Challenges are always good.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what keeps you going, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
I would say the same scene, but I think it's because it requires a huge amount of emotional investment, but also it was, and you'll see what I mean, because it's a scene that has everything.
You know, when you guys decided that we're going to be actors, okay, and when you, as you sit here today and you look back at your journey and you see how far you've come, you know, what's the one thing that comes to your mind when you just look back at your journey?
How I felt when I was a little boy watching and reading Tolkien.
Yeah.
I've said that it's sort of clarified itself in my mind recently. It was when I was reading Tolkien as a little boy that I, at the same kind of time, was starting to be interested in acting. Okay. And I think there's definitely a connection there. Yeah. And how all his, you know, the world escapes, what fantasy is, you escape into those worlds. It's what acting is. Yeah. So I think there's a, you know, I think he was very inspirational for me as a kid.
Life comes a full circle.
I know, that's why I like it.
What about you?
I think the cinema is a big thing. I remember going to watch the cinema when I was a teenager, and I remember watching, I think it was normally Christopher Nolan films, like Inception or one of the Batmans, and leaving the cinema full of adrenaline and inspired. And then you just kind of, it's like a full circle moment when we go and watch screenings of this and you leave the cinema with the same feeling, but it's like you're involved in this thing that you're watching on the screen. It's kind of like, I never thought that I would be able to experience that, so it's really special to have that feeling.
Thank you so much. Good luck for the show, and I'm sure it's going to be wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.